What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be making one of my favorite foods. We're going to be making meatballs, and we're going to put a twist on it. We're going to be doing Thai style. So a lot of good flavors, a lot of good seasonings. We got some sriracha, some coconut aminos, ginger, fresh garlic, fresh cilantro. You can't go wrong. These are going to be super delicious. And then in my bowl, I have 1 pound of ground beef. I'm using 85-15, 80-20. You're going to lose a lot of the fat because we're going to be making them in the air fryer. So I'm specifically going with 85. So this is our air fryer. A lot of people ask about it. We have the Ninja. I don't know how big this is, but it's decent. It's good for 2 people. I know a lot of air fryers have bigger baskets, so if you have a family or you want to make things more so in bulk, you probably want to go with a bigger air fryer, bigger basket. And this is the only one we've ever had, so I love it. I recommend it. We'll link it down below in the description for you. So again, I have 1 pound of 85-15 here. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to get all the other ingredients going. So we have 2 cloves of minced garlic here, fresh garlic. You could also just use minced garlic for convenience. And then I'm gonna chop up some scallions. So I'm looking for about a 1/4 cup. So that looks good to me. And then I'm also going to roughly chop up about 1 to 2 tablespoons of fresh cilantro. So all you really do is you bunch up cilantro and then you mince it. And so all we're really doing here is just combining everything in the bowl with ground beef, and then we're gonna mix it up. I'm gonna get all this stuff in since it's already been nice and chopped, nicely chopped. So I'm gonna add in some crushed pork rinds. This will help bind and keep the meatballs very moist as they're essentially drying out in the air fryer, but it's totally optional. We get the question a lot, what are you using for binding? Because the meat doesn't stay together itself, but it does. You don't need an egg, you don't need pork rinds, you don't need breadcrumbs. If you didn't use these meatballs will still turn out really delicious. We're gonna do about 1/4 cup of crushed pork rinds. All right, then the final ingredients we're gonna be going for is some ground ginger. We're gonna do a teaspoon of ground ginger. You can also use fresh ginger if you have that. We're gonna do a teaspoon of salt and some fresh black pepper, and then 1/2 teaspoon of sriracha. So this is gonna add a nice little kick of spice, but also a lot of flavor. And then 1 to 2 tablespoons of coconut aminos. You can really get coconut aminos anywhere. I found them just in Kroger, Publix, but also Whole Foods. So we use coconut aminos in place of soy sauce. It's soy free. That's what we like about it. It does have a slightly different taste, but it satisfies that aspect. And just so you're aware, the coconut aminos is 1 gram of carb per teaspoon. So I did about 4, I think, just now, 4 or 5. So yeah, just keep that in mind, depending on how much you want to do. This is totally optional. Traditional Thai food, I believe, uses fish sauce, and we happen to have some, so I'm going to give this a go. If you don't have any, I really wouldn't worry about it. It just adds a little nice flavor. We're also not going to be using a lot at all. We're going to do 1 to 2 teaspoons. Let me smell this. Oh, wow. That's very fishy and salty. This is probably gonna add a lot of good flavor. I'm just gonna do 1 teaspoon. That's pretty strong. All that's left to do, guys, is get in there with your hand. Don't be scared. I know Matt would be scared. He would definitely use a spoon to do this. That looks good to me. And this is gonna make about 15 to 16 meatballs, so you're definitely gonna wanna do this in batches in your air fryer if you have a small one like us. So now all we have to do is make some meatballs. So I'm just gonna take some in my hand. That looks like a good size. And I like that every single meatball is gonna have some of that scallion, some of that cilantro, garlic. And this will be great for meal prep throughout the week. All right, so I made all of our meatballs. They are looking really good. And what I like to do is I like to preheat the air fryer, usually at least for 2 to 3 minutes before I pop anything in there. And we're gonna be cooking these for about 13 minutes at 350. So let's get this going at 350. So you just turn it on, temp, 350, start, and it'll count down. So I pause the air fryer and I'm gonna pop these in, and Usually around 8 or 9 fit in here. So let's see what we can get in. I just like to put them on those little rings. You don't want them to touch because I like to get them crisped up. So I'm gonna pop these in, and at about 6 minutes, I'm gonna pull them out and I'm gonna flip them over and then finish off with the remaining time. All right, so it's been about 6 minutes. I'm going to check on them and flip them. Whoa, these are beautiful. And you can see the fat draining. So having like really fatty ground beef, like 80-20, you're losing a lot of that anyway. So even if you went 90-10, you could opt for that and they would still be really good. So I might not even go all the way 13 minutes because these are looking nice and crispy. I don't want them too dry. So I'm gonna do like 3 or 4 more and then they should be good to go. All right, guys, we have cooked all of these up. So Matt actually cooked the second batch and he cooked them at 390 instead of 350. So these little guys that are like overly crisp, that's Matt's fault. So I'm gonna try one of the ones I made. They smell really, really good. The fish sauce is actually a really strong smell. So if you're gonna use it, I wouldn't like go overboard if it's like your first time using it, but let's give it a try. Oh man. So perfectly cooked through. We did like 9 to 10 minutes total. You don't have to go to 13, like I said. That's like the perfect amount. Super moist, really flavorful. You could even hear how moist it is. So I think some of that is attributed to the pork rinds, but I would give them a try without the pork rinds and let us know if you do and how moist they do turn out. I would probably top these over maybe some like zoodles or palmini pasta with, what kind of sauce would be good? Red curry Thai sauce or like a peanut sauce. You can quickly make a peanut sauce, and we actually have a recipe on our site that's super good. We'll link that down below as well. Great for dipping. Also a great appetizer. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.